What's up and welcome to Idle Insights, a show where each week I, Treavor Bettis, talk to interesting people about idle champions in Dungeons and Dragons. And with me this week is the amazing Trystan Falcone!
Hello.
Hello! I've said this a few times now. I feel like I need to get a button that I can press to do an audience cheer for everyone because y'all should have a cheering crowd.
I
They're
love
they're
that.
there in chat.
Well, hello, chat. Hello. I can feel you and hear you psionically.
Tristan, if people don't know who you are you for those fine folks who may not know?
What a great and existential question. Hello.
I never thought about that.
My name is Tristan. You may know me, or Trystan Falcone. You may know me from playing Walnut with Penny Arcade's Acquisitions Incorporated, specifically the C team. You may also know me from various yellings on Twitter about projects I work on. I work on the D&D TTRPG team, making the books that we all love so much as a graphic designer, and various other things throughout the years. But currently, just kind of like all D&D all the time. So, hello.
Hey. All the D&D all the time. That's the best way to do it.
Big time.
I vaguely remember this. What was the first I remember you posting about the first project that you did, and it was a product that I bought and I really loved it, but I can't remember which one it was.
Like the first one that I worked on, like solo mio. I
Yep.
did. We put out this line of Dungeon Master kits.
It was the Wilderness one,
Yes,
right?
it was the
Yeah.
Wilderness one. Yeah, that one is just all, which felt very druidic to get to do,
Heck
but
yeah.
it was like a DM screen, just all these like leaves and plants and actually leaf shadows, so it looks a lot like this. Thematic. So
Actually,
that's good.
I just realized I remember trying selling that to people at Barnes and Noble when I was working
Yes.
there.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, fun times. But yeah, so we're here today to talk about Walnut and Idle Champions Presents and all that fun stuff. But I'm gonna start the show off the way that I always like to start these off, with the fun little icebreaker question: how'd you get into D&D?
Oh gosh. So the way that I got into D&D is a twofold question. One is that I used to rip like bad files of the anime Record of Lotus War, like fan subs offline. And then I found out, this is back in the old days when I had like truly topical GeoCities or Angel Fire like fan sites about various things. And I was just very obsessed with Deedlit, being an elf and everything. And then found out that it was based on the author's D&D campaign. I thought, oh, I want to do this, and I'm a wee at this time, but of course, the barrier to entry for me was too difficult. Fast forward to later, I was in school. I was in wherever. I was somewhere, and I wanted to play, and the people at the table were being a little curmudgeon-y, and they didn't want to let me play for whatever reason. And I remember being like, you know what? One day I'm going to play D&D, and it's going to be out of spite. And I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to taste so much sweeter. And let me tell you, as a person that has played hundreds of hours of D&D, loved it, made so many characters that I love, made so many friends that I love. D&D truly has altered the course of my life. It tastes pretty good.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
People run on spite, some people run on pure joy.
Yeah.
Mine's a mix of both.
Oh yeah. Big same. Like even as you were talking there, I'm just like, oh man, it's got to feel good working on official D&D books and occasionally thinking of that group and going,
oh, it absolutely is, especially when I'm like, oh, I know this person didn't like this kind of like role playing element, and I'm like, no. But I do think that like that is one of the things I like about working on it now, is that, like, fifth edition is just like, it's so big and it's so boisterous, and I love it.
There's so much fifth, and it's wild too. Like thinking about back in like 2014 or something like that, where I'm like, there's not a lot of fifth edition. I want more fifth edition, and now we're to the point where it's finally like, this is great. We're comfy. We're great. We got all the books that surrounds us. It's great.
I want so much more stuff. Anytime anything is like, and here's like a big adventure with a big setting, I'm like, interesting, can't wait to hyperfixate on this 4 months.
I may not have a giant box sitting next to me right now of a Kickstarter that was a 5th edition setting that I'm so excited to dive into.
I love it, man. It gets everybody's, I mean, this is that's why we're here like talking, right? It's like it gets
Mm-hmm.
people's creative juices going. It's like we're all speaking the same language, but uh, what would you say? Like manifesting it in different ways, producing
Mm-hmm.
different things with it. It's so
Yes,
cool.
absolutely. I did just get a note from our producer Lauren to remind everybody, hey, we're live right now. This is not a pre-recorded show, so if you have any questions, you can put them in with question colon and then your question, and we will talk about those at the end of the episode. And we'll also be doing a giveaway at some point during the show. So I will just randomly say we're doing a giveaway, and it will happen.
Just like that.
Yes, exactly. But before all that happens, why don't you tell me about Walnut? How did you come up with
Yeah.
Walnut?
Um, so Walnut was a character that I made to play with my friends, Jerry, Kate, Ryan, and Chris on Penny Arcade's Acquisitions Incorporated, the C team. The team that's not it's not your A team, but they will get the job done. Joke is that they're actually very effective. So don't
Extremely
believe
effective.
don't believe everything you hear. But Walnut, I knew that I wanted to play a druid. I always like in WoW, I played a hunter, would have like my little pet class.
Mm-hmm.
In Neverwinter Nights, I was always trying to like, play like the things that could summon animals, whatever. And it's funny that say I like playing druids. I didn't play a druid in WoW. Whatever. We're not gonna talk about that.
It's a different sort of druid, but I get
It's
it.
about having a pack of the animals.
Heck yeah.
And so when I was looking at different druids and I saw Circle of the Moon, I was like, oh yeah, the closest thing that can get me to being a cryptid, I want to be that. Um, and then I was just thinking, I was thinking a lot about like my life at the time. I had moved from very far away, and I kind of wanted to play with some themes and like maybe work through some stuff that I was going through, which is something that I think I do a lot and I know I do a lot with D&D. And I know that other people that resonates with other people as well.
Mm-hmm.
But so I was having a lot of anxiety about the climate crisis at this time. And I thought, well, when I was reading the literature about druids, that frequently they say, oh, some of them will work in harmony with society and like teach loggers to like not log too much and to, like live in harmony with the forest that they live near. And other ones are more like, let's let the forest and nature take back over everything. And like a Last of Us 2 sort of situation, or that post-apocalyptic Kirby game that just came out.
Keep forgetting that game is a post-apocalyptic
It
Kirby
is so
game.
my aesthetic. We can't even, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so I was like, no, I want to play a druid that is actively like, I hate the city. This was, I think it's a King of the Hill quote where like Peggy's looking at Phoenix, Arizona or whatever, and she's like, "This is a monument to our hubris as humans." Is this? And I wanted Walnut to feel like that.
Yeah.
And so then there's some matriarchal themes. There's some like being displaced from your family themes, but like the number one thing I wanted to make sure was that like she is stalwart in her beliefs. She's pretty young for an elf, and that she's very just lawful neutral. That she's like, I have a code of ethics. I am going to stick to them no matter what. And those are make nature bigger and stronger,
Mm-hmm.
and just very ambivalent towards societies that are not based around guardianship over the
Mm-hmm.
world.
I love that. That's fantastic. I because you mentioned before the show about like the climate crisis thing, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, I actually didn't like. I kind of saw where you were going with that, but that makes total sense now with like the way that Walnut is and everything.
Yeah. I remember feeling very hopeless at the time when I was
Mm.
making her. Still do. And you can see the shadows of like me having trees and stuff in my actual home. I've like,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I have a number of house plants that some might consider unhinged. That's just me. But just like this, like I want to be more connected to the earth and just feeling like, do you know when you're watching Planet Earth and then David Attenborough starts talking about like, and then
Mm.
sadly the turtles are confused by the
Oh.
lights of the city. I was like, I want to play someone that can channel my anger about that in real life into the table. And
Oh.
that rage that Walnut feels like when she's a wolf and she's about to like chomp down on someone. It's like,
Yeah.
what about the baby turtles?
That's that brief moment just before the attack. It's like, about the baby turtles. Ah!
Yeah. So you get into character before
I,
the camera goes on. You're like, baby turtles.
I
Oh,
think if
baby
I was
turtles.
if I think if I was your DM, I'd be like, "Is Walnut thinking about baby turtles? Advantage on the attack."
Incredible.
That's so good. I remember vaguely remember that that Walnut's a documancer. Is that what the word was?
Yes. Oh, very good. Yes. So on in actually in the Acquisitions Inc. D&D book that
Mm-hmm.
Watsi made in partnership with PA, there's all these different jobs, and there's cartographer, and there's oh my gosh, so many like different jobs that look like they would be one thing, but they are actually like secretarian, and you're like, maybe I have an idea of what that is, and they're just
It's
they
very
have
different.
yeah, they have like little twists and traps in them. And so a documancer is some I swear that this was just a targeted attack on me anyway, that loves this is the friend that manages the group calendar. This is the person that's like, oh, that was really funny, let me open up my Google Doc of all the funny things that this group has said, and I have them here dated, and like that
Yeah.
person that's that energy. So for Walnut, she uses contracts and the things that she's gained, like the knowledge she's gained of how they work and society, now that she's been living in towns and cities, to sort of weaponize bureaucracy. So I
Love it.
think of documancy. Yes, she has a natural proclivity towards it, a predilection.
Mm,
But also it is very as much her weapon as her transformations and her sword.
I like that.
Isn't that what it feels like when you do taxes, though?
I think I have a slight different sort of dread feeling when I'm doing those.
Sure.
And I always love that in Idle Champions, like one of the specialties that you select is like
Yes.
the different types of like ways you're going to do the documents and stuff. I loved that. That always gave me a
I
good laugh.
That was so fun making that originally, just being like, all right, here's the flavor. Yeah, the nature stuff. Listen, it's about the documents.
Well,
Oh,
if I remember correctly, because they y'all did a Penny Arcade thing with the Neverwinter MMO,
oh
and
yeah.
yeah, and Walnut was like the person signing people in.
Yes. She was like manning the like career day booth.
That's right. That's what it
Yes.
was.
Yes. And like leaving signs everywhere. And then when you go to talk to her, she's just like, yeah, okay, so you're here, so let's go and just sign this, and don't waste my time. Don't read it. It's fine, trust me. It was not fine.
I was the only one in my friend group that was playing at the time that like listened and watched
Oh
Penny
yeah.
Arcade stuff, and so I'm just like, "Hey, it's Walnut." My friends are like, "What?" And I'm just like, "No, like they're really, you all suck."
Oh my God. It was so wild. I wanted to go play it because I wanted to hear Mike and Jerry play Omen and Jim.
It yeah.
And then being like, oh, I'm so excited to do this quest. And then being like, oh no, I did voice lines for this. And then listening to myself and being like, no, that's Walnut. That's Walnut.
Oh boy. Okay. So this is another question that I've had with the other cast members of Isle Champions Presents, because y'all have this unique sort of thing where you have played the same character in different shows, and I think that is so cool, and I love following that sort of stuff. And so I gotta ask, do you have a head canon for all of these connected for Walnut?
Yeah, I definitely do. I got to play in a game on stage at a PAX where Jeremy Crawford was the DM, and it took place in Ravnica, which is a whole city world. Some might
Mm-hmm.
say Walnut's nightmare scape,
Yeah.
and mine to a degree. Let's be real.
Well, wait, I will say when Jeremy started describing the underparts of it, and it's just covered in like molds and stuff. I'm like, no, nope, I don't like this place anymore.
No,
Nope,
no.
hard pass.
When that was going on, my DM Jerry with the C team made it clear that her boss was in the habit of cloning his very valuable employees. So now there's for me, like my little Legend of Zelda timeline truther thing that I have here.
Yep, the
Yes,
branches, yep.
exactly. So I have that for different clones of Walnut, and which is why I do feel a freedom when I go to other shows and they're like, "Oh, this I'm the kind of DM that like you could have serious consequences." I'm like, "Oh, let's go."
I love that.
Mhm.
I especially love like having a reason, like a headcanon reason for like, okay, this is why they're over here. This one is this one's story. Like, yeah, it is very much like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Oh,
Okay, now we're
totally.
going to these
In
other timelines.
in the canon, Chris Perkins gifted me a clone that was on the show I did with him for for a guest spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point Jerry also made the one that had been in Ravnica and then Walnut Prime, I guess, mush together. And it was like dealing with oh, you went to this bad place that I didn't, and now I have the memory of that. Wow, thanks. Great.
Oh,
So
jeez.
num num num.
Yay! Player character trauma. Yay!
Delicious. Well, listen, resolving things is half the fun.
It's true. That's the real boss fight. Um, so okay, tell me about Walnut's arc throughout the we'll say like from the beginning of it to maybe that the Ocarina of Time clone break.
Oh,
Like
sure.
what was going on with Walnut for that?
What's, what was going on? What were we doing? Um, Walnut's thing was that when she came on, and Jerry did make this clear to me that he loved that. Um, and now that I'm thinking about it, maybe this was a read on me as a person, but he's like, what happens if you're a young person and you achieve everything you set out to achieve and you've done all your goals? And then, the movie doesn't end. You just kind of have to keep going. Then what happens to that person? And so Walnut was the first, like her backstory and her stuff, which I thought would be dealt with like, a season 3 type thing, was the first arc we went into on the C team. And it was dealing with her ancestral home being turned into a city. She lost her whole druidic grove, including her mother. And we just like really, really dug deep, and she was
Mm-hmm.
able to pretty fast start to get some closure on that and like have a revenge trajectory, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, it's like, well, now she's with her group and she's not staying because there's anything in particular that she needs to do. Now she's staying for other reasons that have to do with the bonds she's formed in this group, a thing that she originally said she wouldn't stay for or didn't care about. And so it turns out the friends were the family we found along the way, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Also, Walnut meets a very beautiful and dangerous bard named Brahma, and the two of them have various run-ins of the romantic kind.
Ooh.
And that also was like, that was a big part of, that was not in the plan,
Mm-hmm.
that's not in the plan. So dealing with that. But yeah, Walnut's just like, she was me when I was younger. She thought that the more she thought she had it figured out, the less she had it figured out. And now being able to look back at that and be like, hey girl, it's okay to admit that you're wrong. Like, Walnut, you're okay.
I love that. But yeah, I mean, like that's one thing that I've always heard about C Team is that people enjoyed it not only for you all but for like the character arcs that y'all's characters took, that they are very different people from the beginning to where it ended and whatnot.
Yeah, I do think that uh I th- I very much feel like it is mostly about the characters and their interpersonal relationships and their arcs. And yeah, I know that people love to watch, Jerry and Chris like go off at each other, or Kate. She is an absolute phenom and has been in a million things, and Ryan and I are there too. But these characters are just, I don't know. At a certain point, it was just we kind of felt like that lightning,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, when C Team officially ended, that like I mourned not being able to
Oh,
see
I
those
bet.
characters
I
every
bet.
day. I'm still not over it. Sound like a joke. It's real though.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, like I'm sure that people have that same thing with their home characters
Oh,
and stuff. When a
totally.
campaign ends, it's like, oh well, I liked that character. I wanna keep using that character. And I mean, then you've got people like Todd Kenner who just do.
I know. Oh my gosh. Oh God.
There is a part of me that like kind of wishes, I'm like, I kind of wish I had made a really great character at the start and just stubbornly stuck to it forever, because that is an experience that I don't think I can fully grasp.
Oh yeah. I got really excited to like make other characters because I really liked being able to solidify who Walnut was by having these like counterpoints to her. But now anytime somebody is, approaches me, it's like, oh, we're gonna play some D&D. My first question is it okay if I play Walnut? Or do you want me to make a new character?
Oh, that has been an interesting thing with interacting with people who do have these like stream characters and whatnot. Like Lauren, our producer, I had her on a charity game last year, and she was like, "Okay, well, what kind of character do you want me to make?" I was just like, "Honestly, if you want to play Arkira, that's actually works really well." And she's like, "Really? I can do that?"
I know, because you always assume people want something else, and you're like, oh wait, my precious child I can bring as my +1? Wonderful.
Yeah. Oh god, that game was ridiculous. I was like, oh yeah, no, sure, totally. And then I forgot. Oh yeah, Orkir has like a 30 passive perception.
Oh no. Well,
It just ended up being fun.
some characters Walnut's got a good perception. You can perceive it all and still be a doink and not be able to do anything about it.
So let's part of this before we get into Owl Champions Presents. We talked about C Team quite a bit here and whatnot. If people don't know what that is, like what was C Team?
Yeah, wow. What a great question.
Another like existential.
I feel like I should have talked about that at the jump. C Team was a show that ran on Penny Arcade's channel every week live with only a bit of a break in 2020 due to things.
Gestures at everything.
Even here in this place. It was a show that ran for about 5 years and every week, and it was live, and we played about 3 hours of D&D and or more, depending on how into it we were. And it was a sort of a jump off initially from the games of Acquisitions Incorporated that were played at PAX's, which is affectionately referred to as the A-Team. And so the idea is that our show would be like a weekly investigative thing where we are pursuing our DM's character's backstory. And then it became much more than that. And then, then it was like this wonderful, like, take the baton and run with it, where season 1, we're kind of focusing on Omen and his backstory and then learning about our characters. And then the next seasons, it's like, okay, let's do something bigger. And it all ends up tying back to Acquisitions Inc. and the nefarious ways that it works and it runs, because it is absolutely it's satirical of like big corpo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
People are like, oh, so it's like fantasy business stuff. I'm like, yes, if you don't like it, if you're scared of a big corporation and you don't like it and you want to make fun of it, Acquisitions Inc. is the way to go. So yeah, so that is essentially it. And I think it was originally just kind of supposed to be one thing. And Jerry's gonna Jerry. He's gonna dig in. He's gonna like see a thing that you want to do from orbit and then go in on it, whether it was his plan or not.
Yeah.
And he is not afraid to just rewrite or rethink about a thing that he wants to do. And we just ended up really hitting it off and just having a great 5 years together. My gosh.
Heck yeah. Well, one of the episodes actually came up when I was talking with Anna a few weeks ago, which was the crossover that y'all did. That is still to this day one of the coolest things I have seen in an actual play. That you all just handled so well. It was so seamless. I loved it.
That was so fun and like set up the actual real life friendships I have with Anna and Holly now.
Oh, I love that.
I get to play with them like on Idle Champions, or I get to, go see Anna and play with our dogs, like that kind of stuff. And I really loved that crossover because Jerry and Chris Perkins were DMing, Jerry Holkins and Chris Perkins. And they at a certain point had been DMing us as separate groups with a mishmash of players from both shows, brought us together, and then they were like, well, Asmodeus has been in both of our games, so let's play him as like a two-headed sort of beast.
Yeah.
So they were like co-DMing for this one episode, and then it was very near the end of the year, the holiday season, Yule times. And so we were going to record a bonus episode, and one of the characters on C Team is called Cthulhu from the Underdark. And so the idea was we're going to do like a What's Christmas, Charlie Brown type of thing with Cthulhu for Cthulhumas. Thank you. Wonderful. But it was entirely just ad-libbed. There was no plan going into it. And throughout the course of that thing, it was, 8 players, 2 DMs, we're all riffing off of each other. And like the inn that we lived in like comes to life, and one of the characters is like somehow entering into some infernal contract where they're going to get married to this inn. And like I think about that adventure constantly, that I'm like, there was no plan, and we made 3 hours of content, and all of us at the end were like, well, we could do more. Like, what if we did more?
Oh, that's so good.
Yes, that's very good.
I mean, especially, most people would hear like 8 players and they're like, oh man, in 2 DMs, like that's a wild situation for everything to just work so well.
That's true. I think one of the things that I really enjoy in a DM is the collaborative nature, really feeling like we're all building the story at the table.
Yes.
The DM's bringing the framework and, maybe the mystery and all that. And maybe we're exploring what their vision is, but I think letting players have room in the space to help inform, the way that things go. And I've always really thrived with DMs that sort of have that mindset, because I'm looking to have fun, and feel the danger when appropriate. But you gotta laugh. D&D, there's a lot of humor.
Oh, that's something that like I don't think I could ever run, especially in a home game, like just a purely serious. I mean, my Curse of Strahd game, it ended with, and one of my players cried twice that session, but they still dropped a mammoth on Strahd. Like that's just objectively funny. Yes.
Did they do an Operation Dumbo Drop joke?
Oh my God, they did.
Wow.
And now I'm mad at not only them but me. I'm mad at past me for not doing it.
Wow. Interesting.
I could have dropped Danny Glover in there and everything.
Oh my God. What could have been? All right, end the show. We got to go do this.
No. I have to think about this for like at least 3 hours now. Okay, well, speaking of crossovers, let's talk a little bit about Idle Champions presents Hunger of the Far Realm. How has that been going?
I think you can tell how it's going by every week the players, after it's over, are just sitting in the Zoom call with each other being like, that was awesome. I love playing with you. Can we play more? Like, and being in the Discord being like, I look forward to my Mondays. What a great way to start the week. But I just Anna and Holly and I had played before, and I had been DM'd by B-Dave before, but I had not played with Eugenio or Brian, and they are just like, we realize that like everybody at the table has like a lot of, we all have a flair, and we were just like really like getting that Cast Lightning feeling, and I think everybody had been feeling it, and I think you can definitely see that when we're playing like our faces, and there's a very dramatic scene, like everybody else is kind of lit up like, yes, and then we're texting each other on Discord being like, oh my God, wonderful work. Amazing.
That's so good. I love that. That just I love when there's just like warm and fuzzies behind the scenes. That just makes me happy.
If it was a home game, this would be the type of thing where you don't want to derail somebody's moment, but like you're just sitting there like thumbs upping, like more, like yes, feed me this story.
There has been times that I have like in a game I have texted someone that gif of Thor from Endgame with the two thumbs up, where it's like I'm a little nervous, but you got this.
Oh yeah, that's how I feel. I'm loving this game. I know we had our penultimate episode last week and could not believe that, or not last week, this week.
Mhm.
Hey, time.
No, we don't talk about that guy here. He's a jerk.
Great. Love that for us. Great. Yeah, just being like, oh no, I like I'm glad that we're gonna, tell a
Yeah.
story and have it be like a wonderful little package, but I'm just like, oh no. Like I want them to do more adventures together.
Oh yeah, I've literally talked about this on every episode I've done for the last few weeks of just like that first tavern scene. Y'all just immediately started riffing off each other. I mean, all the scenes that y'all have had on the boat and with the little familiars and everything, the Sailor Moon style transformations. I mean, it's just chef's kiss. So good.
It's so fun. I also like big shout out to V for stepping in and playing Tiamat
Yes.
because behind the scenes to peel back the veil. Uh, we were all in our little Discord chat being like, this is the voice of Tiamat. This is what I'm gonna hear in my sleep when I have nightmares about her. And just like it's actually been just a very cool experience the whole way through. A lot of fun story beats, and then being in the far realms, like knowing that it's not gonna get good in the far realms, right? Like you
No
don't go
one's
there for
going there
like
for a good time.
it's not the fun realms.
Yeah.
No.
The fun realm.
I want to go there.
I'm just picturing this like nightmarish version of like a space Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh my God.
There's
Yes.
just a
No.
planet-sized Chuck E. Cheese head slowly turning.
What if it was like that, but like Sanrio, and it was just nice and nothing bad happened ever, and all the characters were happy? Incredible.
I think that's a great setting. We should write that book.
That
That'd be a great like book for a DM to bring to a table. It's just like happy fun land where totally nothing bad happens ever. Don't worry about your characters at all.
Yes, this is like the like dramatic session. Like you have your like your final campaign thing, and then it's like, and then we're just gonna have a cool down session. And what's the thing that you want to see your character do? Oh, like go foraging for things in the forest, and then make tea out of it.
Yeah.
Great, you get 15 minutes to do that. Oh, therapeutic.
Yeah, that would be nice, especially after some sessions where it gets like super intense and stuff. Just like, you know what? You just go have a nice dream episode. Totally fine.
Cut to now where, when this is over and it has its stunning conclusion, I'm just going to be in my own notepad writing my own fanfic. I'm like, and then everybody was happy and nothing bad happened. And all the pets were friends and they slept together in a big pile, like where the wild things are.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, let me check something real quick. Okay, I think we're gonna be doing the giveaway soon. I'm giving the
Ooh.
chat warning. I think we're doing it soon.
Be warned, chat.
Martin will let me know in a little text doc. But be ready. Get your fingers ready. So one of the things that I want to talk about that has actually come up on the show before you were even on here was Walnut's new looks. How did those come about?
So I did actually I said I'm a graphic designer at Wizards of the Coast. I had worked on the Spelljammer book. And so I spent a lot of time looking at fish, space fish, the like. And so thinking about like, okay, well, Walnut's in space. Walnut in space. Oh my gosh, is that the code? Just thinking like, oh yeah, what if it was, instead of trying to be like pull from whatever planet they're near, or like, the wood from the ship they might be on, what if it was some of these sea critters?
Mm-hmm.
And once that happened, and when I'm working with the team at Idle Champs, it's just like, I have this idea. Is this anything? And then got the like, oh yeah. And I was like, I just have this image of like, big starfish like stuck or something, or like seaweed. And then it was for the sword. It was like, what if it was a fish bone and it had like kelp through
Mm-hmm.
it, that so it just still looked green. And just oof, that one was a gift for me, and I love it. And you can all share in it with me and get that floppy sea creature skin.
I will say it's the first time I've changed Walnut's skin since the
It's
what was
good.
the like epic druid one. I can't
Oh
remember
yeah.
what the name is, but got the
The
antlers and
the Grove
stuff.
Keeper one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one, Grove Keeper. That thing is so cool.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so I instead now it's the the space sea creature one.
I love it. Well, we have the next one coming up.
We do.
We do. And it is essentially just a corruption of the one that we had seen of the sea creatures. We described it on the show, but it's just the way that I described it was, I'm thinking like tropical fish for the spell jammer sort of thing. It's like a fun aquarium experience.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, and then we go deeper into the crevasse, and things start to get wet and wild, negative. So, her skin is like getting like chitinous. She has like lichen all the way up through her. She's got like barnacles. She's more fish than man at this point. And just everything. Also, there's like all these little nematode things hanging off of her. And they do also kind of just look like teeth. And I gotta say, on a scale of 1 to very cool, it's very cool, but also it's
Disturbing.
intense. I do love it though. I think that especially with when I'm playing, I'm excited to actually like get in and use the skin in Idle Champions, because I'm like, oh, I can think of some people on my team that thematically this would be like fun with, like with like Catharsis attacks animations and stuff. I'm like, ooh, I want to just have like the weird gang.
The weird real quick, it is giveaway time, chat. Martin is going to put in when it starts. After that, you can put in all lowercase, all one word, space fish, and yeah, you'll be entered for a chance to win 42 chests of your choice, excluding Bahamut. So next 2 minutes, go ahead and flood the chat with that, and then Martin will grab a winner and let you know who it is. So good luck.
Space fish, flood the chat. Wow. Now this is content you can really like sink your teeth into, get those hooks in. I don't know, something about buoys.
Oh god dang it.
I don't know. That's not my best work. I'm gonna workshop it.
I'm not gonna lie, I was still happy with it, so
that's fine. Then we did it.
Yeah, it was there. The effort was made.
100%.
But yeah, the far realm skins. I the first time I saw those, my first reaction was, oh my god.
I like, especially because there's like, oh my gosh, all of them are incredible. I'm a big fan of the Evelyn skins, just because she is always so like sunny, happy, bubbly. We love her, always positive. And it's like one of my favorite Evelyn moments that Anna does is when Evelyn has to question something. And if she were to question it and accept that thing, then her whole thought logic structure would have to be broken down.
Yep.
And so seeing her go from like the rainbow bright character, and then just the eyes, and just too many, just the dark, just her tentacles like moving her and stuff. It's just like, this is not what Lathander would have wanted for you. And I'm sorry, but I do love to look at it.
Like,
so
it looks like Evelyn took a quick trip through the entirety of the film Event Horizon and then came back.
Yes. Oh my god, very good.
Like the first time I saw the Evelyn one, I was like, I never thought I would need a tryptophobia warning for an Evelyn outfit, but here we are.
Oh yeah, she was not the one that I was like, oh yeah, we definitely would need it for the no. And then there it is.
There it is.
Woof. Big woof on that one. Oh yeah, actually, that's the thing to point out, is that in Idle Champs and in real life, where Walnut's a real human person,
heck yeah,
elf person, in Idle Champs, when she transforms into her wolf form, the skin also reflects that. And I gotta say, the nasty barnacle-y far realmy wolf is like, it's got extremely good cryptid vibes. It's like, oh, you've wandered upon me and I have a terrible curse and a quest for you to fix my curse. I love it.
As someone who also is a massive fan of cryptids, I'm very excited about this. And now I'm literally going and like, can I see this early? Or I don't know if it's out yet or not, but I'm like, just gonna see if I can look that
Oh,
up and
it's
see how creepy it is. But
they're dropping on Monday.
oh, it's on Monday. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You heard it here first, chat. I can't find it. I'll
They
look at it later. I have ways.
I have ways. Yeah, allegedly that they will be available at 12 p.m. Pacific on
Mm.
11/21.
Mm.
Says my email, and my email would never lie to me.
Absolutely not in any way, shape, or form. Everything that comes through there, completely truthful. Just what do you say that we take a look at what chat has been up to with
Oh my
questions while we've been
gosh.
talking?
Who? No, of course, please. Let's do it. Let's do it. You mean this
There's
wasn't
other people here?
just kidding. This was pre-recorded. No, it wasn't.
Oh, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be surprised at some point with these episodes if I do that, where I do psych out the chat for an entire episode. So
That
be
is
stay on your
really
toes.
good. You do that, you say it's pre-recorded at the jump, and then
Ooh, do
halfway
the
through you
opposite,
start
yeah.
responding to chat, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, is this an ARG?" There you go.
I do it in the way where it's just like, oh, I feel like Lurking Writer is gonna have something to say about that. Okay, let's go to the first one, which is from Gelatinous Rubik's Cube. Fantastic
Ooh.
name. God, that is listing off a whole bunch of questions in my head. But anywho, they have a question. How does one turn playing D&D into a career? Asking for a friend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I kind of fell into it. I did not realize that my graphic design skills, that I was working in tech, I was working for startups, I was doing like resizing boxes in Photoshop all day for like user experience stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Blah. But turns out that some of the skills that I had could be translated into, things that would be needed by someone that makes books.
Yeah.
So I have met like a lot of people that have skills that, either people usually think like, oh, well, I want to work on it. I want to like make the mechanics, or I want to write the prose, or I want to do that. But it's like, there are so many people that do so many different things. Like our, producers that work on it, like our project managers that work on it, they're the ones that like actually keep us like going, like keeping the like everyone on schedule and organizing everything. And we have just like oh my gosh, there's so many different types of people. There's editors.
Yeah.
There's people that do things for social. There's people that do things for marketing. There's people that do things for the book proper. But it's like, you're all on the same team. You're all having meetings with each other all the time. And it's like, if you are a person that can write for games, whatever, bless. That is not my journey. I cannot do that. But one of the things is just like, at a certain point, I was like, I really do like just doing something that is gonna, what I do with graphic design is like, you put the art in that the artists do, and then I do the things to support it. And if I'm doing my job right, you won't notice I've done anything at all. But maybe it looks like a ripped page, or maybe it looks like there's a little magic like flowing off of the image, and it's just like, all I'm doing there is I'm just zhuzhing the work that was already done, and like that brings me great joy. So when people ask me this question, I always am like, look at the place you want to work, look at the types of people that they have working there, look at the jobs that they list for, and just look at the things that you are already good at or could get good at.
Mm-hmm.
And when in doubt, this is just good life advice. Learn how to code.
Just quick little thing, Tuesday morning.
Just quick little thing. No, there's so many different ways. I know people write for DMs guilds, and they do layout for DMs guilds. Like if making textures is your bliss, there are so many people that write modules and things that want to make the layout look special. You can get hooked up with those people. So the world is your oyster. The world is your space oyster.
Oh my, that's got to be huge because the space whale. Oh my god.
I love it.
But no, like you're saying, like with the graphic design, if you're doing your job right, then people don't notice it. But like, I do disagree with that because like I am definitely one of the people that like opened up fourth edition. I'm like, oh, it's just a white page, and then I opened up fifth edition. I'm like, yes.
Like people had totally different like sensibilities. So, you have the second edition, like the AD&D, like the boxes, and they're all like really brightly colored.
Yeah.
And then for me, I first noticed like D&D was on my radar during 3.5.
Hmm.
What a moment in time. And everything was like, it's called skeuomorphic. You might like, if you look at Hearthstone or something, it's like everything looks like a real world object.
Yeah.
Everything looks
I didn't know there was a
sculpted.
word for that. Okay.
Yes. Or like how the old Instagram icon used to look like an actual Polaroid camera, not just whatever. So there's that kind of stuff. And then as, time goes by and sensibilities change, things get updated. So we're in like a really fun, splashy moment right now. I
Hmm.
think that the Spelljammer set that just came out, the art's like the colors popped up and it's just like really whimsical and beautiful. The Wild Beyond the Witchlight set that came out. Oh
Oh,
my
so
gosh.
good.
Yes.
Actually, I that is my. Hang on, I got it right here. That is my default dice set. Is
Oh my
the one.
gosh.
I
I
love this
love
thing.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. We had some very, very talented people working on that. Um, but yeah, and everything's a big collaboration. It's very sweet. I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've heard people say like, I don't know why these books cost so much. I'm like, do you know how many people work on them? Like, have you opened that book and looked at those credits? Because there's a lot of people in there, and that's not
Yeah.
even everybody.
No, I know. Yeah, if you go in the books, you'll see like not only everybody that touched the book, but also just everyone that was at the studio at the time of making it.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And then
Yeah.
sometimes it'll just be like the team, whatever.
Hmm.
It's wow, it's
Those two
a lot.
words are doing a lot of heavy lifting.
The blank team. Yeah, I know. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay, Counting Crew has a question. What is the favorite way what is your favorite way D&D has shaped your personal identity?
Woof. Well, you know what? I did say I wasn't gonna lie. No,
Yeah.
I'm very open about this. But that I was actually able to explore. I'm a queer human. I knew that I was in like fourth grade when I saw the
Hmm.
movie Titanic. Very specific. But I did not have my like, journey with my personal like identity really fully fleshed out. And honestly, D&D was a big part of that because I could very safely like put different
Hmm.
types of, for lack of a better word, skins on and try these people out and see how it felt. Like, how did it feel to play somebody that was just like less concerned with like perceived gender roles, or like what is it like to play a character that is just very in love with their wife,
Hmm.
and I know that, I've met scores of people that this is very much the same.
Yeah.
And I do think that for me, that using that to work through things was allowed me to kind of, I would say like beta test things that I maybe wanted to explore a little bit. And
Yeah.
sometimes it wasn't intentional. I would just be like, oh, I wish that my life was a little more like, what's going on here. And then being like, oh,
Realization unlocked.
the power is mine. Um, yeah, D&D's done so much. I've met lifelong friends. I've met
Hmm.
uh I've met so many wonderful people and had so many like wonderful experiences. Got to go to Australia because of D&D. Oh, it
Nice.
was awesome.
Yeah.
I know it, incredible. Wonderful coffee. Who knew?
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh
I
my
didn't
gosh.
know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but Melbourne coffee just like is so much better than Seattle's, and I'm now going to
Ooh.
be haunted in the streets for saying that. So
A bunch of Seattleites are just like, the heck you just say?
I know they can all sense it, and they're waiting. It's a zombie apocalypse situation for me right now.
Okay, we're gonna go to the lurking writers question. I've not watched enough Acquisitions Inc. or the C Team, but what I have has brought me so much joy. So, firstly, thank you for being an integral part of that. Secondly, what aspect of D&D, being playing, DMing, getting to write official material, etc., has brought you the most joy so far?
Well, I certainly don't write official material. Well, I did write Walnut's quotes for the Ink book. That
There you
counts.
go. It's official.
I would say, oh my gosh, what's my favorite part?
Hmm? What's brought you the most joy?
The most, probably the most joy. I think the thing that's brought me the most joy is getting to see how a character that I made just for me
Mm-hmm.
resonated with other people in ways that I didn't think. Like I didn't think that I, would be. I knew I wasn't going to play like a very jokey character, and I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I wasn't going to play like a, big damage dealer or anything. Like I really didn't have a plan when I went in with Walnut, and then hearing from people that just, that they named their cat after Walnut, and
Oh.
just like where they're like, yeah, it really meant a lot to me that she, like kind of carries the memory of her mom everywhere, or that, she uh put down what her ambitions were after she got them, and then focused on her relationship with her wife, or that she let these strangers into her life and they became like her siblings. Like um that that brings me so much joy every time I hear it, or not even Walnut specific, because the other media has been this for me.
Mm-hmm.
When they say like, hey, I had a rough insert time period or whatever, and I listened to the C team, and that was just my, like, I needed to be engaged and distracted, and that this
Yeah.
is the thing that I listened to. That hits like right here, because I've had so many things like
Yeah.
podcasts that I've listened to that I've been like, oh, these are my friends in the dark times, and I
Yeah.
just need to listen to them, and then I will be a little bit better. And to know that we got to be that for some people is just like, oh man, that's it. That's honestly, that's it. You put that on my tombstone, that can be my epitaph. I'm like, I'm done. I did it.
No, that I mean
Oh, so
that's
sweet.
genuine. I mean, I don't know what more you can hope for when it comes to making anything like this. Is yeah, to get to be that someone's thing
Yeah.
that was there for them. Like that's fantastic.
Honestly, yeah, I do feel like it's like there's other stuff that I like about it, but at the end of the day, when somebody's going to ask me, like, what am I most proud of? What brought me most joy? It's like, yeah, that a thing that was useful to me was useful to someone else, and that we both, without knowing each other and seeing each other,
Yeah.
were able to experience some kind of joy and like have that connection. Which sounds very woo, and it is, and deal with it. That's how I feel about D&D, bringing us together.
Heck yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tristan, we're actually at the end of the show, but thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me today. This was so much damn fun.
Wow, that went very fast. Thank you for having me. Thank you, chat, for listening and asking wonderfully thoughtful questions.
Mm-hmm.
Love to talk about Walnut.
Yeah. Well, if people want to find you on the interwebs, where could they do so?
Yes. Okay, so if you want to find me on the internet, you can see my I almost said Twitch. It's Twitter. It's my Twitch too. My Twitter handle is just my name. And that I use that for posting official channels of, where you can see me and when, if I'm going to events, or I'm going to be on shows like Idol Champions Presents.
Mm.
But boy, that might be truly an archival record of a person soon. Who knows? Um, Otherwise, I do have an Instagram that is Trismatica. I link to it on my Twitter, and that is certainly where I post my in real life druid content of hey, here are my plants, look at them.
Hey,
And we love them. So if you want to,
I need more plants on my Instagram feed, so I'm gonna go
the
follow you.
casual side of it, that's Instagram.
But
Twitter, all business.
my friend did recently admit to me that like an entire quarter of his living room is just taken up by plants now. He's like, I bought like 3 during the pandemic, and it's just happened.
I truly inherited maybe 50 plants the other week. So
Oh,
I'm doing the work,
you're
and
druiding strong.
listen, they gotta exist for at least 6 months before we say strong. But yes, thank you. Thank you for
That's
believing in
fair.
me.
I do believe in you. All right, well, that is going to do it for this week's episode. Be sure to catch the final episode of Isle Champions Presents Hunger of the Far Realm this coming Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific here on twitch.tv/CNE Games. And if you see that and you're just like, I need more Walnut, there is plenty of Walnut all over YouTube on Penny Arcade and everything like that. So you can go catch up on C Team, all the other Pack Antics, or Pack Antics is the thing that I write. Penny Arcade Adventures. Sorry, yeah, no, I think we're very close there. But that is going to do it for this week's episode. So until next week, take care of yourself.